My name is Angela Minardi. I'm based in San Diego, California.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Herstory TV and the Herstory podcast. This is Gertrude Matcha here in beautiful Wellington, New Zealand, and I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating entrepreneur coming to us all the way from the United States. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our tribe. Tell everybody your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Wonderful. Thank you. My name is Angela Minardi. I'm based in San Diego, California. That's in Southern California. I'm 38 years old, and I am an entrepreneur, businesswoman, adventure junkie, and fitness enthusiast. My company is called Fit City Adventures, and we are a corporate wellness and team building company based here in sunny California that does all of the fun activities that one would expect when visiting California, like surfing and volleyball and beach Olympics. And we do that with the mission of cultivating and inspiring meaningful human connections through this team building while giving back to our communities and nonprofits. So it's a business that I started about 2 years ago, right before coronavirus hit. And since then, we've completely pivoted and changed our business model from those in-person events to now over 100 virtual options to keep employees' culture strong and keep them connected.
Wow. Wow. Now, to hit on an idea like this, I know that you have a fascinating story of how you changed your life at the age of 30. What was the pivotal thing that happened that made you move to the other side of the country, knowing nobody there, and eventually going into business? Let's just have a little bit of a feel of your backstory.
Yeah, so I grew up in New England in Boston, and went to school there. I went to have my undergraduate and my master's and my MBA there. I worked in public relations and marketing for about 20 years at big companies, Fortune 100 companies, and consulting as well. And kind of just rose up the ranks and did everything that I thought I should do. I checked all the boxes. I was met my ex-husband at 25 years old. I built a house at 26 years old. I progressed again, continued in my career. And at 30, I woke up and was sort of almost having what I would consider panic attacks, feeling like my soul just wasn't connected to my body. And I was not doing my purpose. And I wasn't, here to do what I needed to do, which is to connect with people and to start a business and to live in a sunny place like California. So I woke up and I honestly, one day I just wrote a list of 10 things. What do I love and what do I want in my life? And how can I change this kind of weird feeling that I'm getting? And it was all things that I now have, right? So sunshine, happy lifestyle, living outdoors every day. That was just so important to me. So I did it. I changed everything. I sold my house. I ended a marriage of 10 years. I decided to move to California, in particular to San Diego. I've only visited once and I didn't know anyone here, but I knew it was the place for me. And I packed my car and drove across country and moved out here in 2016. And I started my business in 2018. So
Wow.
it's been a journey.
But there was another woman who is online right now listening to you speak, and she is on the verge. She's like, do I do it? Don't I do it? Based on what life has taught you, what three nuggets of wisdom would you give her to make that decision?
Yeah, there's never going to be a right time. And the only one that can live your life for you is you. And there really is never a bad decision. That's something I learned. I was paralyzed to make these decisions. I thought, well, what if it's the wrong decisions? Well, then you just live your life and you find your next path, right? And that the universe is here to support you and you have everything that you need, believe it or not, inside already. And you can find your way. And so you just have to have faith. And I think that there is no real reward without taking that risk. And I'm now sort of like addicted to taking risks as an entrepreneur. I've traveled to 20 countries, including New Zealand. I've gone bungee jumping and done all this cool stuff in the past 5 years or so that I never would have done before. And
Yes.
it's like made me stronger, right? And it's made you who you are today. So I would just say, yeah, that just take the leap. There's people that are there to support you, and have faith in yourself, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's interesting, in interviewing so many entrepreneurs, it's kind of a pattern that most entrepreneurs are risk takers. I've always been of the premise that if I jump off a cliff, I'll grow my wings on the way down. And normally that's what happens, right? You start meeting the right people, you get the right mentors. It's almost like the universe will conspire to help you succeed. And you may fail, but the failures are just the stepping stones to get you where you want to go. What is your take on failure?
Yeah, 100%. I don't really view anything as a failure in my whole life. It's just, okay, this happened and I learned from it,
Yes.
right? So it's kind of like the next step in your progression. We're always growing and learning as humans. No one knows everything. No one's perfect. And it's always a connection point. Like, okay, then I met this person, like you're saying, or I met this person, and it's kind of cool how stuff all kind of comes together. But yeah, definitely, take the leap. I mean, you're going to survive. And I always say to myself, okay, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, I have to find another job. Like when I quit my consulting job to do this full time. All right, Angela, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, you just find another job, right? I mean, it's you got it. You can figure it out. But what's the best that could happen? Well, you're
Yes.
doing your passion, right? You're helping all these people. You're going to succeed and grow your company and all these cool things that it's just way outweighs the failure. So I really try to stay and live in the positivity,
Yeah.
and rewire your brain that way, because it is hard, right? It's kind of like grooves in your brain, and when you start to worry, they get deeper and deeper. So you really have to focus on the positives.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Hmm.
Now, COVID has presented entrepreneurs worldwide with amazing opportunity in that everybody's online. People are looking for support, people are looking for help. In your pivoting from a physical kind of business where you're meeting people in person and having to transfer everything online, what have been the challenges? What have been the benefits? How are things going for you?
Yeah, so we were growing pretty fast, and we were going to be traveling to a bunch of conferences in March of last year. And of course, they all got canceled. And my revenue, I think, in March was $500. And I was panicking. Oh no, I just quit my job. What am I going to be doing? But I quickly just said, you know what? All right, pick yourself up. I've got some great partners. I'm going to be creative. I know how to be creative. I'm going to
Okay.
ask for help. And I so started asking partners, all right, let's start shipping things to people's homes. What are people looking for? And I just started asking questions from my clients. And we ended up growing the business of virtual, right? What is virtual team building? What does that look like for virtual events, cooking
Yeah.
classes, meditations, game shows? And we started pulling all this in, and people needed it. People needed joy. They needed something to look forward to, right? They wanted something delivered to their door, and they were isolated. And it was the one way that we could keep everyone kind of connected. So it grew, right? Instead of just doing the San Diego office or the LA office, now we're doing the New York office, the London office, and all these other offices. And so it was really cool for me. Like, wow, now we're growing. And when the holidays hit in December, we were doing so many holiday parties, and I had to hire staff, and wasn't prepared. But what I learned is that, virtual is really cool because I can have three computers open and I don't have to drive to three places. So the costs or expenses are much less, and
Yeah.
it helped me grow for sure.
Oh, I just love this. So if I was
Yeah.
to take you into the future,
Hmm.
time was an illusion and you could have a conversation with the older you at the age of 100 and you're sitting in your rocking chair with your grandchildren or great grandchildren, based on how you're living your life as a woman, as an entrepreneur, what would you say to her?
I would say, yeah, to have no fear and live your dreams and surround yourself with people who lift you up, right? And give you that positive energy. And to be kind to Mother Earth. That's another thing that I'm really passionate about. We do a lot with community groups and beach cleanups and hikes, and it's amazing to me to see the impact that we have. So I would want to instill that in her. But yeah, I mean, living as a female today, it's so empowering, and we have such an opportunity to take advantage and to surround ourselves with women that we can support and lift up. And I'm really passionate about that. That there's no point in negativity. There's no judgment anymore. It's really just about building everyone up and supporting each other.
That's wonderful. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much for coming online and gracing us with your presence, telling us about your amazing business. I know that this video is going to be watched right around the world. Can people get into your franchise? How are you expanding globally? Tell us a little bit about that before we go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have partnerships and events all over the world. What fitcityadventures.com is a good place to start, or our Instagram page, Fit City Adventures. And we customize and curate experiences based on the location. So if someone is in London, it'll be very different than if someone is in Vancouver or New Zealand. But it's all about health and wellness, which
Mhm.
is really our focus, and connecting people. So getting people out and taking on these adventures. It's an amazing opportunity to see people grow.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for this interview. Again, another fascinating, exciting business venture. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. I'll be back again tomorrow with yet another fascinating woman sharing her story from a different part of the world. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And thank you, Angela. This was a fantastic interview. Bye for
Thank
now.
you.